Bug implementer.
Before we start creating our own properties in Godot, we need to understand what they actually are. Why doesn't Godot just call them variables like other programming languages? And what does this have to do with object-oriented programming? Let's make this simple. No matter which programming language you learn, a variable is simply a container that stores a value. This value could be a number, text, true, false, a position, basically anything you find on this variant types list in the documentation. So at its core, a variable is a named box that holds a value. In object-oriented programming, we work with two key ideas. A class is a blueprint. It describes what something is and what data and behavior it has. An object, also called instance, is the actual thing created from that blueprint. A class describes it, an object exists. Every node type you can add in Godot comes from a class. Node2D, for example, is based on a class. The class Node2D. Sprite2D, for example, is based on a class. The Sprite2D class. CharacterBody2D is based on a class. The CharacterBody2D class. You get the point. When you click Add Node and choose one, you are not creating a new class. You are creating an instance of that class and placing it in your scene. The node you see in the editor is already an instance of the class. But the game is not running yet. When you press play, Godot creates a runtime copy of that node in memory. This live version is what actually runs code, moves, updates and changes values during gameplay. A variable by itself is just a variable. But once a variable belongs to an object, like the player for example here, it becomes a property of that object. Since nodes are objects, any variable that belongs to a node is considered a property. In GDScript, we still use the keyword var to declare a property. Var is simply how the language creates a variable. What makes it a property is not the keyword, it's where it lives. If the variable is part of a node object, then in object-oriented terms, it becomes a property of that object. And to clarify, by adding nodes to this scene right here, we create instances of this class. And a instance and a object are basically the same thing. So we create little objects here. And in Godot, they call them nodes. Many beginners think that when we attach a script and write extends Node2D, we are changing the Node2D class for the whole engine. We are not. What actually happens is you create a new custom class based on Node2D. Only nodes that use that script will have the extra properties and behaviors you define. Just by the way, the export keyword is there that we see the property in the inspector to check this. Only the node 2Ds with the script attached to it have the health property. And if I were to add the script to this node 2D right here, for example, then this node 2D also has the health property. Only nodes with the script attached have the health property. Therefore, we are not changing the node 2D class in any way. We are creating a custom class and only extend the functionality of the nodes we attached the script to. Variables are containers for values. A class is a blueprint, an object or instance, or as they call it in Godot, node, is the real thing. Adding a node creates an instance or object of a class in the scene. Editor instance is saved, runtime instance is alive and running inside of the game. A variable becomes a property when it belongs to an object, an instance, or a node as it is called in Godot. Var is just a keyword to declare a variable. The node context makes it a property. Scripts create a custom class for nodes that use them. I hope this makes any sense. If you have questions and do not understand something, I will try to make it clear for you down in the comments or even create a new video. And in this one we are not going to do any exercise, so it's just theory. In the next video we are going to exercise this. See ya in the next one.